Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. First things first, make sure you smash like and make sure you hit that subscribe button if you are new around here on the road to 7,000 subscribers. And in today's video, people, I am going to be defending Mykhailo Mudryk because quite frankly, I am absolutely sick and tired of the scapegoating, the criticism and the damn right abuse that seems to be coming this kid's way. Now, a bit of context is required here. You know, Mudryk arrived at Chelsea in January. Big money move from Shakhtar Donetsk, where he'd done well. In all fairness, he'd done well. He was cooking in the Champions League, man, the match performance in a Bernabeu. You're gonna have to look at some of the highlights to see what level of performance this guy can do and the talent that is there. But why are people getting on his back? That's what I don't understand. He's played less than 1,000 minutes for Chelsea and the most dysfunctional team we've ever had, and he's getting a ridiculous amount of unnecessary abuse. And I mean, I don't really want to give some of this abuse the platform, but I mean, it's utter madness. This yesterday from some show on TalkSport, absolute disgrace, absolute disgrace. You know, the fact that these people get paid, Hawksby and Jacobs, like UK's biggest afternoon sports show. Is this what we're coming to? How are these clowns even allowed a platform to say stuff like this? Utter rubbish and losing credibility and run by a complete group of morons. How can you attack a man's livelihood like this? It's downright abusive. I will walk across London Bridge nude if Mykhailo Mudryk ever becomes a decent footballer. I basically tear up his contract and tell him to get a job in haulage. I've never seen a bloke that looks less like they can play football. That, to me, is an absolute disgrace. It's an attack on a man's livelihood. And these are just from idiots that haven't got an ounce of talent in their body anywhere, spouting dangerous vitriol like this. It's honestly, it's unbelievable that people have got a platform to say this stuff and it goes totally unchallenged. What on earth are they basing that on? What are they basing that on? Like, the guy's literally barely kicked a ball for Chelsea. He's played 18 games for Chelsea in the Premier League, in which 11 of those have been substitute appearances. However, he's played just 720 minutes in these 18 matches, which is the equivalent to just 8 games, considering the 90 minutes per game context. You know, he's not been given a proper run of games. What is he supposed to do when he comes on for 10 minutes here and there? Normally when Chelsea are chasing a game, normally against a side that's playing a low block. Like, what is he expecting to do? This is a young kid. You know, people just look at the football side of things. No one looks at the human side of things either. You know, he's come over from Ukraine. His home country's at war. It's been decimated. His parents still live over there. It's a new league. It's new people. It's a new language. It's a new country. All these things that he's got to adapt to whilst worrying about what's going on in his homeland. And people are just being abusive and just cutting him no slack whatsoever. I mean, it's becoming a bit of a witch hunt on Mudryk, and you know, obviously you expect it from rival fans because they all jump in on the bandwagon and you know, and like to banter it and stuff. But when you actually look at it on a more deeper level, it's ridiculous. It's totally unnecessary. He's coming in for ridiculous criticism. You know, look, I get it. He's been disappointing in his performances. We've seen what he can do. That his debut up at Anfield at Liverpool, I was there firsthand to see it. Electric. You know, we've seen what he can do in pre-season. You know, the young players need confidence. They need trust. And right now, Mudryk doesn't seem to have any of those. But he gets poverty minutes, people, poverty minutes, and normally comes off the bench when we're losing against a team that's sitting deep. I can't make a full judgment of Mudryk until he gets decent starting minutes. But the problem is, when is that going to happen, people? When is that going to happen? Look, another thing is, look, we may have too many wingers that need minutes to grow and develop. So, you know, we've got Cole Palmer, we've got Mudryk, you know, we've got these guys that need minutes to develop as well. And, you know, I'm seeing people laughing at him for trying to take a shot on in that Forest game. It's like, well, hang on a second. No one has a shot for Chelsea. And what else are we doing to try and break that Forest defence down? Absolutely fuck all. So the criticism that's coming in is laughable. And I'm sick of it. And I'm raging about it, to be quite honest. Absolutely raging. You know, yes, he's not been good enough since he's come in, sure. But he's been here 7 months, pretty much. He's played 8 games total for Chelsea. You add all his minutes together. And yet we're coming to the assumption that he's a flop. I mean, God forbid. Like, if you don't hit the ground running, like in the first 2 or 3 games, you're just being written off as a player. I mean, what sort of nonsense is this? What sort of nonsense is this? You know, yes, look, this is a negative multiplier effect. You get shit minutes, your confidence gets worse, and you don't change that without giving someone an increased amount of minutes. But then you can look at this as a concern with the transfer strategy. Where are Mudryk's minutes going to come from? Palmer, Sterling, Mudryk, and Kunku when he comes back. These are all young or players in their prime. Everyone can say it's competition, but inevitably, and I've said this before, guys, a bottleneck is gonna occur. You know, that's the reality of the situation. You know, people saying that, you know, oh, his touch is not great, oh, his football intelligence is not there. People that have never played the fucking game and they're just making shit up. You know, think about how shit and dysfunctional this Chelsea team have been in the last 9 months he's been here. Same goes to Mudryk as well, who's admittedly been given more opportunities. You know, I don't really know what to say, but the criticism and the scapegoating is a complete and utter disgrace in my mind. Complete and utter disgrace. You know, people demanding more from Mudryk. Like, you're going to get inconsistencies with young players. You know, you shouldn't be expecting miracles from Mudryk. You should be expecting consistency from your senior players, your Silvers, your Sterlings. You know, those are the guys you should expect consistency from. Young players are going to have peaks and troughs. They're going to be good for a few games and they're going to be a bit shit for a few games. That's what happens. And if you're criticizing them for having a few poor games, then you're in for a rude awakening. It's going to be a long, long season. If you're following Chelsea, you're going to be criticizing young players for not performing on a consistent basis, because that's what young players do. They have ups and they have downs. You know, Mudryk, you know, he needs to be starting games. It's as simple as that. He needs to be starting games. I know Pochettino knows more than me, and this is just my opinion, but he has to be starting games. You know, we need to maximize his potential. How do you maximize that potential? By giving him a run of games in the team, allowing him to make mistakes, allowing him to adapt to the game, and then allowing him to learn from those mistakes. You know, we shouldn't need special treatment. He shouldn't be having special treatment. I'm not saying that, but he has to be starting games. Not only is our current left winger a left back as well, I mean, what sort of message does that say to the likes of Mudryk? That actually, you know, I don't want to pick you. I'm going to pick a fucking left back to play in your position instead. That can't be good for his confidence. He needs a couple of things, though, in my opinion. He needs trust and he needs time. And the only way that's going to come is through starts. And if there are poor moments, he needs to be allowed to mess up in the first 15, 20 minutes or whatever and adapt over the course of the game, rather than coming off the bench and just, you know, having 10 minutes here or there. Then you have to wait a week to come off the bench again, and you're trying to improve in a short space of time over multiple matches. And all of this is coinciding through Chelsea's dog shit form. And it's just, and it's causing, you know, like, it's basically when he comes on, the game is just all over the place, you know. But I feel he needs to be coached better. I mean, I'm not criticizing Pochettino as such, but he needs to be coached better. He needs clear instructions. Like, most of the time when he comes off the bench, the game, we're chasing the game, it's stretched. We're all over the place. We just throw him in at the deep end, you know, hoping something's going to land. You know, we come on at the weekend against Forest. He spent most of his time playing fucking right back, essentially, with all that chasing back was doing. Look, for me, this guy needs to start games. I don't care how bad he is. Start this guy for 4 or 5 games on the spin. Just give him specific tactical instructions, telling him to come inside or go on the underlap, overlap, keep his position, running behind, pressing, and all that sort of thing. It sounds really simple. I'm not trying to say that I'm a coach and I know better than the people in charge, but Chelsea have been in complete and utter turmoil since he joined, and he's just been chucked into that, and they've just been like, right, you know, see what you can do. You know, he's isolated. At times it appears like he's just got no instruction when he steps on the pitch. You know, all they say is, "Oh, play for freedom." You know, play with freedom. That's it. You know, it works for a little bit, and then it doesn't work. It doesn't work. But look at teams like Arsenal. Look at teams like Man City. You can argue that their wingers have got more quality, sure, but someone like Jeremy Doku, like Mudryk, raw, a lot of talent, but it's going to be a lot easier for him to settle in because he's going into a team that is raw. Sorry, not raw. So a team that is a winning machine, a very good team. So there's more. You know, you can afford more time for that player because you're doing really well, and people aren't going to get on his back because the team's winning. At Chelsea, there doesn't seem to be that. They've got an incredible, but also there's detailed instruction at these teams for the players. They know exactly what's expected of them. You know, whereas I don't think at Chelsea they know what's expected of them. You know, that detailed instruction, you know, that sort of stuff allows them to harness the quality that they've got And even if they do mess up a few times, which they will, because every player does, they know the simple things that they're meant to do. And it gives the team just like a level of calmness. Our team doesn't have that calmness, but oh, I'm playing shit. The ball's not coming to me. Let me just do a few simple things, right? And then the calmness eventually breeds confidence, breeds quality. And Mudryk's just not been afforded that in my opinion. He's just not been given that, and it just seems to be an easy target. It just seems to be an easy target that people are just jumping on the back of. And I just totally disagree with it. There is a quality player there. There's a quality player there, and he deserves sympathy. He deserves sympathy from the fans. I really do agree that. But how can a player that struggles to get going ever get going when all the fan base do are complain that everything he does isn't that great? What are we doing? We're supposed to support our own here, and instead we're just tearing them down at every single opportunity we get. It's totally unacceptable. Really is unacceptable. But this guy needs support. He needs help. He needs coaching. He's raw. He needs development. Let's give him the time to do these things. The problem at Chelsea is you don't have a platform seemingly to be given time. This is what happens when you have so many youngsters all together. They all need time, which is half the team that needs time. And when we need results instantly, that's not really there. And that's a peril and one of the drawbacks of this way of this way that we've gone on the transfer market. But a better run of games, you see a better version of Mudryk. It's as simple as that. But having said that, I just want to round out this video. It's a bit of a rant. Apologies, people. But right now, the team's performing poorly, and we don't really get a luxury of giving Mudryk 90 minutes every week to get up to speed. Averages 40 minutes per appearance. So it's not doom and gloom for me, but it's simple. Like, if you're not starting, when you get that opportunity, that 15, that 20 minutes on the bench, you need to give the gaffer a reason to pick you. I absolutely agree with that. And that applies to every single player. But at the same time, why does Chilwell get picked at left wing then? Because he's giving no reason on the pitch right now in that position to warrant being picked every week. But yeah, anyway, guys, that's just my views on the Mykhailo Mudryk situation. I'm quite frankly sick and tired of the abuse and the scapegoating that's coming his way. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below, guys. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Up the Chelsea, and peace out, people.